Hello, good afternoon, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Arnold Anderson Stadium in Brantford, Ontario, for some IBL Sunday afternoon action as your Brantford Red Sox take on the visiting Hamilton Cardinals. It's a warm Sunday, it's a hot Sunday, it's both teams coming off 3-game weekends, and the Hamilton Cardinals have had a number of key storylines going for their team. They've been a lot of fun to watch, and we can't wait to have them here for their first home effort of the season in Brantford. Today, it's an absolute pleasure. We got Mark Perry making a one-off appearance on Friday. He was a pleasure to have, but today we're joined by my man on color, Brian Howie's back here. He had a very fun game last time he was here. You got some fun news in the middle of that game. We'll see if you get any more fun news today. But Brian, the Hamilton Cardinals come to town. They're always a fun ball team, and they've had plenty of storylines these last couple days.
Well, thank you very much, Marshall. Yeah, we'll see if there's a little less drama going on in this broadcast than the last time I was on air. I'm not expecting any more grandbabies anytime soon, so it should be okay. Anyhow, the Hamilton Cardinals come into town rolling. They've won 4 straight. They climbed over 500, and they're only a game and a half out of 4th place in the standings, which gets them home field advantage in the playoffs. And what a week that they've had. First, it all starts with Owen Boone, who threw the no-hitter on Thursday night, the first one the league's seen in 40 years, since, I believe, Jesse Orozco, who
1977.
Yeah, it was about 2 months before Orozco debuted with the New York Mets when he threw his no-hitter in Cambridge, I think. Anyway, so, yeah, I know Owen Boone very well. When I was coaching with Kitchener and we played London in the playoffs, he was a horse for London for years. And anybody who follows this league with any regularity knows who Owen Boone is. Nasty fastball slider combination where they both look the same coming out of his hand. It's a late break and sharp slider, and he can really eat a team up. And he did. He darn near beat us in a 5-game series all by himself. So after that, they had Enrique Saldana throw one-run ball over 5 innings when they beat home and home against Chatham.
Yep.
And, of course, Freesis Adames, who threw a 6 shutout against Chatham Kent as well. So the bullpen has gone 9 straight scoreless. So at the end of the day, this 4-game winning streak that Hamilton is on all boils down to the pitching. They've been absolutely lights out. But on the offensive side, you can't ignore the fact that they've got a really good lineup as well. Tommy Reyes-Cruz, one of the better leadoff men in the game. Brandon Nickel, a veteran in the league, came over from Welland. Tyler Duncan, a former MVP player. Nick Kakatos, who's been up just outside the top 10 in batting average as well. So they've got a lot of good things going on right now. They're a very confident team. They've even got a super player in Jonathan Salatzos, who isn't even playing today. One of the nicest guys in the league, a former 10-year vet with the Toronto Maple Leafs as well, and one of the nicest guys in the league. Now Brantford, on the other hand, they've lost 3 straight. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Their big thing is keeping the runs against down. They're second last in the league in runs against, so that's something that today's starter, who we'll talk about, will help with. The good news is, offensively, they're really starting to figure it out. They've got some guys going to the All-Star break. They've got Ortega going to the All-Star game. They've got Takioka, who's now leading the league in hitting with a 450 average. And Ortega's just outside the top 10 and 343. And defensively, they've got a lineup in today. We were talking off air. We think it's probably going to be the best defensive lineup they can throw out there.
Really is. I think that those changes they made kind of in the middle of the season really prioritized hitting. Max Schmarter no longer on this team. He was released from the roster earlier last week. So we were talking about it on Friday with Mark Perry. Lucas Lefebvre is going to be the guy at shortstop for this Brantford team for right now going forward. Although Jose Vinicio back on the roster. He was released earlier this year. He's now back on the team as the backup shortstop. Keep an eye on him maybe to have some upside here. But that is going to be a key storyline for today is Brantford. These defensive rotations, substitutions. We saw it in the late innings on Friday, and we thought, give some guys some reps. Just take kind of a break off from the usual run of things with the Heat, with the big deficit to bury in the middle of that game. But we're running it back today. You'll see here when we go over our defensive positions later in the broadcast, Brantford's really trying something new today. And I think a little bit of leeway is given there as we pull up your starting pitchers for today's game. The starting pitching matchup today, I haven't been able to say it too many times at home this season, Brian, but I think the stats say Brantford is probably the team with the favored pitcher, Aiden Armitage, and now an all-star reserve here for the 2025 season. So Aiden Armitage is going to get the call today at the starting pitcher position. He came into the season season as a relief guy, potential long relief upside, and he's boomed into one of the best, if not the best, starting pitchers on this team. You see up here now, Aiden Armitage, 3.17 ERA. Decent sample size there, 22 and a 2/3 innings pitched there, 17.8 strikeout to walk ratio. That's best on the team. And on the other side, Carwin Salcedo Reyes, 4.90 ERA for the Hamilton Cardinals. Only 7 innings pitched on the year, 9 strikeouts to 7 walks. Small sample size, although I will say, Brian, I believe you were here when Wilhelmes Alvarado came in for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Something up around 7 was his ERA, and he lit us up all day. Yep. He was incredible. So you can't always take a guy at face value, but Aiden Armitage, All-Star reserve, he's going to be a factor for us to maybe give the bullpen a little bit more wiggle room later in the game than they're usually used to seeing.
Well, having seen Armitage a couple of times, he's not overpowering stuff. He doesn't have a lot of strikeouts for 22 innings. 17 is not a huge number, but he pitches to contact, and he reminds me a little bit. Now, you got to be careful comparing a guy to Roy Halladay, the late Roy Halladay, but he had a similar theory on pitching. He wasn't worried about how many strikeouts. He wanted to keep his pitch count down and get deep into games. And that's one thing that Armitage does as a rule. He avoids the 3-ball counts. He pitches to contact, gets soft contact whenever he goes, and trusts his defense to make the plays behind him. And I think that's going to be a big advantage because the Red Sox bullpen, I think, nicest thing to say about that is not exactly a strength at this point. And so they've got some good arms down there, but they really have trouble making the bridge from mid to latter innings to the late game. You know, they've got a couple of real good arms for the back end, but they really have trouble bridging the 5th to the 7th. So a guy like Armitage who can pitch to contact, get deeper in the game, is going to be exponentially improving their chances to win by getting to the 7th or the 8th inning so they can get to those big arms down at the end of the bullpen.
Well, we'll see if we see that all-star reserve level value here in the early stages today. We'll see if Brantford can get off to a good start at home on what is a very hot Sunday of baseball. It was on Friday. At least the sun came down in that game. Today, the interesting thing is going to be the field condition. And I know you and I, Brian, you came here the other day with a different team. You talk about the field condition and how those weird hops at the second base shortstop area of the infield can really play, against the hands of an infield defense. Well, today, pre-game, we had that rain overnight that's really been all around this part of Ontario. And pre-game, this game was in talks of potentially being canceled. It does play through. That's the reason we don't have Rogers TV here today, as anticipated, was just the field condition. It looked like the game wouldn't happen. In the end, those powers that be at Brantford made sure this game will go ahead against the Cardinals. But keep an eye on those field conditions today and the heat. It always plays against pitchers, hitters as well. And as we get ready for the anthem here at Arnold Anderson Stadium, there's going to be a lot of factors to watch in a game that 3 games back of the Kitchener Panthers is as big as ever for the Brantford Red Sox.
Yeah, Thursday night I was here with my 22U team, and the infield was rock hard. Everything that bounced was bouncing. The infield was running really fast. Everything that was beat into the dirt around the plate went 20 feet in the air. And, of course, that dangerous area around second base. So with a softer infield, we expect more true hops, but tougher to run as well. All right, and another rousing rendition of the national anthem here before the Red Sox game. My man Marshall has been called away for a technical situation, so it'll just be me for the next couple of minutes. So we want to welcome every one of you to the game today. It should be a very exciting game. Again, Aiden Armitage is starting for Brantford, and we look for him to throw a lot of strikes, keep the 3-ball counts to a minimum, and really go at this Hamilton lineup. And we'll go over the lineup a little bit here for Hamilton. It leads off with Tommy Reyes-Cruz at second base, and then Brandon Nickel playing shortstop. Tyler Duncan at center field. Carlos Dominguez playing in right field. Josh Williams is the DH today. Nick Kokatos is the left fielder. Again, a guy who's in the top 10 in batting average. Tanner Rumpel at first base. The catcher is Jomar Hernandez. And at third base, instead of Jonathan Salazzo today, is Jaden Brown. I watched him warm up. He's got a really strong arm, has good range out at third base. Be interesting to see him play. Hamilton is on the game 4 of a 4-in-4 situation Thursday night. Obviously the no-hitter from Owen Boone, and then home games against Chatham Friday and Saturday where they won 2-0, and won easily 12-1 last night. And so today against Brantford, they're going to have a real challenge facing Armitage here, who's going to pitch to them. And there's my man Marshall back, and we seem to have things all worked out, do we?
We certainly hope so. Should be good to go here. I'm sure the heat probably playing an effect on some of our tech, but we should be back to good and ready to go with all of your overlays for today's game. We've got the white jerseys out today for your Brantford Red Sox. We've got those nice kind of off blue, powder blue type Cardinals jerseys, one of the better ones in all the IBL. Although I feel like every game we call a game, Brian, that the road team that comes in is wearing some great merch. And you can always pick up your Brantford Red Sox stuff here live at Arnold Anderson Stadium at our awesome merch booth table. Remember, reverse tariff season here at the Brantford Red Sox for all of our home efforts this season. And we were talking about with Mark Perry on Friday, Brian, just how crucial these home efforts are going to be. We have a lot of home games on the docket the rest of the year because we haven't played many to this point in the season. And the fan engagement and getting fans hyped up at these games, encouraging their team to make that playoff push is always crucial. And you're a guy that's been around baseball for a long time. You know the value of fan impact on the players.
100%. I could tell you that when we were in the playoffs 2 years ago in Kitchener, and 15, 18, 1,900 people are rolling in there, and what an atmosphere it was, especially when we got to Game 5. My own son was in the stands and had never been to an IBL game before, and we hit a 3-run home run in the 6th inning to take a 5-3 lead, and he said he had never been anywhere outside of the dome watching baseball that had such an atmosphere when it gets packed like that. And you can think of diamond after diamond after diamond. You know, Labatt Park in London, Christie Pitts, Hastings up in Guelph. Those places, when they get packed, they are absolutely rocking. Chatham, I haven't been there yet, but I've watched a few games on the stream. So it means everything to have the place full and have the fans engaged in, every pitch, every hit, every defensive play.
Well, the fans are out here in droves despite the hot weather. Leading off today is Carwin Salcedo-Reyes is going to be the pitcher for the Hamilton Cardinals. But on our side, it's Aiden Armitage getting us kicked off here at Arnold Anderson Stadium. First batter of the day, he's facing Tommy Reyes-Cruz. You talked about earlier, one of the better leadoff men in the game. Only .230 this season. But interesting note to watch there as you see this outfield cam. Backstop today, starting backstop for the Red Sox, Lucas Bateman. First one of the day goes down the line. Fair ball for a single in the very first pitch of the day for Armitage. Tommy Reyes-Cruz, stand-up single to open up the day for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he has. He's not a big guy, but he has a shocking amount of pop in his bat. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. And, of course, this guy coming up here, a former Welland player, is a really good hitter as well and a dangerous number 2 hole hitter.
Yeah, here's Brandon Nickel coming up here for the Hamilton Cardinals. Hitting .292 on the season. 13 RBIs, 5 home runs. He's got a little bit of pop in that bat. 17 strikeouts this season to only 8 walks. But Armitage first pitch of the day for a single. We'll see what he does for number 2. Right down the zone. Strike 1 of the day for Aiden Armitage. So now on first, leading off, Reyes-Cruz. He's got Matt Torres in there for company. He's getting the start today at first base. We'll show you the full defense in just a moment. Oh, throws over top of Brandon Nickel there for ball 1. If he had just stood in and taken that one, that would have been a free walk to first base there, Brian.
Well, that's when you usually get barked at from your own dugout, telling you to wear it. But, when you've got something coming at you at 80 miles an hour, your first instinct obviously is to duck.
Here's the 1-1. Armitage, good speed on that. A little bit off speed at the end, fooled him, and now Nickel down 1-2 here.
3 straight off-speed pitches to start this at bat with Nickel. he's got him set up here for a high fastball. He is pretty quick to the plate, not easy to run on. Reyes Cruz is a threat to run. But one thing I've liked about Armitage is that he is quick to the plate.
Reyes Cruz takes another step off first base. Swing and a miss for Brandon Nickel. First K on the day for Aiden Armitage.
And true to form, he comes up on pitch 4 with the hard fastball outside and a little bit up, and Nickel was unable to get a bat on it. Here's a guy that you have to be real worried about. Again, a former MVP in this league, Tyler Duncan. He can hit the ball out of any ballpark in this league. He's got, I think, 6 this year, and he just hits the ball really hard. So I don't expect Reyes to run here for 2 reasons. First of all, you get a dangerous hitter like this. Secondly, you keep the right side of the diamond more open for a hit to go through.
First pitch and first hit for the game for Tyler Duncan, right over the head of the second baseman. That's Lucas Lefebvre out there at second base today, but that's Tyler Duncan there with the single right down the gap, and Palos will field it to keep the runners at 1 and 2.
Yeah, first pitch fastball there, a little too high in the zone, and he knew exactly what to do with it. He hit the ball where it was pitched, up and out over the plate, and hit it right back up the middle.
Let's see if we can get our defensive formation up here in just a few moments. We just had to make a couple last-minute changes with the lineup. And we'll see it now. We'll get the wrong logo up there in the corner, but this is actually the Brantford Red Sox defense there, pardon the Hamilton Cardinals. Outfield today, Takioka, Palos, Black, and then Torzin, Lefebvre, Ortega, and Watt, your infield defense. And I already said it there, Brian, but Lucas Bateman getting the start at back catch today defensively. Rare you see that for the Red Sox. And interesting there, moving Cassidy Watt to third. Curious what the managers for the Red Sox are thinking there.
Well, we know Cassidy Watt can't play third. He played third when Savage was playing. He caught the ball. He caught one game here against Kitchener a few games ago. 2 starting off sliders for Dominguez, 0-2 now. And the other guy I want to keep my eye on is Black out in right field. Brady Black, very good defensive outfielder. He made that fantastic catch against Toronto up against the wall a couple of weeks ago.
So Dominguez down 0-2. 2 swings and misses thus far from Armitage. Oh, throws over top of him again. That ball goes wild, and the runners will advance. Armitage has had the power. He's had the off speed, but that fastball right now, Brian, seems like whenever he tries to place it on the batter's side, gets too close, and he could have hit 2 guys by now.
Yeah, he's trying to get to the plate quick, which is very admirable and something you want to do. Having said that, when you get a little bit too quick, the arm falls a little bit behind the body and leaves yourself open, and generally you'll miss arm side, which is exactly what he did there.
The first hit by pitch chance was off speed. That one he probably should have taken. That one had some juice on it, so Carlos Dominguez makes a business decision there. 1-2. Off speed. That one barreled up a little bit. Popped up in the air. No advance from the infielders. That one comes down. Takioka can't get the glove on it. And the runner at third, Tommy Reyes Cruz, comes in to score.
Yeah, you can see that one was trouble. The wind was trying to blow it back in a little bit. I think the wind's blowing a little bit from our left to the right, from third base to first base. And it was hanging that ball up a little bit, so it was just in that dead zone in between the outfielder and the infielder. The shortstop was busting it back to try and get there, and of course Takioka, who runs really well, couldn't get in on time because the ball was being held up by the wind. So an unfortunate break there for Armitage. Goes down as a hit, but really he made a good pitch, got soft contact, just couldn't make the play on it.
Runners now in first and second. It's the big man with the big bat, Josh Williams.